balance, my community. Welcome to a guide on, your boy Anubis. Today we're going to be going over the stats, the abilities, combos, and uses, as well as builds for Mr. Anubis here. I've been trying to trim the fat recently, make these videos shorter, so we'll see if I can actually manage that, get it under 20 minutes. Anubis is a very simple god, so we'll see if I can do that. So first of all, I'll go over his stats at level 20. And I go just type it as fast, just click really fast. So he's got very low health, but a pretty decently high mana bar, which you can also increase with items. He's got a pretty poor movement speed. He's got almost no range, very low base attack speed, plus 0.99% of attack speed. It's not very good. He's not exactly an attack speed god. His magical power, however, is 65 plus 20% plus 1.5. So what we're going to do here, this plus 1.5 is actually 20% of this added to it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to point out the fact that this is a burst mage. When we get to his abilities, you'll see a bit more what I mean. But he is not very basic attack oriented. His protections are okay for a mage. I mean, mages have crap protections, but that is just the typical stats. His MP5 is going to be normal, and his HP5 is going to be pretty normal. So he's overall, the only shining beacon of hope for him is this high damage. So if we actually look at his abilities, his passive is called Sorrow. And all of Anubis' abilities steal physical and magical protection from the target and increase his healing obtained from magical Lifesteal. These effects stack on every tick of Anubis' abilities. That's important. Sorrow also grants Anubis an additional 30% reduction of all crockish alterations, which means it's like a light tier passive. If he gets stunned for just 30% less. So you get 7 protection stolen per stack of his passive, 33% increased healing per stack of his passive, a 5-second duration on those stacks, and only a maximum of 3 stacks, which means you can get 21 protection stolen or 99% increased healing. So next one is his first ability, Plague of Locusts, and it is a cone, a very short cone. He spews out locusts from his mouth. Let's see, dealing damage 0.5 seconds for every 3 seconds, so that's 6 ticks. And Anubis is immune to knockbacks while channeling. 35 to 95 damage plus 40% of magical power. Mummify. Anubis fires bandaged projectile, mummifying and stunning his target. It's just a stun that you gotta hit. It's a skill shot. 1.6 to 2 second stun duration. That depends on what level you are. At level 1, it's 1.6 seconds, and at level 20, it is 2 seconds. Very simple ability. Building cooldown reductions are advised because this ability is going to be your only sort of means of escape. If someone's chasing you, can look behind you, mummify them, and just keep running and hope that that's enough. Maybe build blink. I don't know. We'll get into that later. Grasping Hands is a ground target. It's a big circle on the ground. So let's see. Anubis calls forth help from the underground as hands penetrate the ground and claw at his enemies, doing damage and slowing every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds. So slow is 0.5 seconds for every 2 seconds, which means there's 4 ticks of the slow and 4 ticks of damage. It's 25 to 85 plus 35% of your magical power and a 25% slow. That said, that 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds seems like it lasts a lot longer than it does. Again, I'll show you what I mean. Finally, we have Death Gaze, which is a line ability. It is like a laser that can go through walls. Keep in mind, it can go through walls. Focuses all of his energy into a piercing gaze, doing damage to all enemies in the path. Every 0.1 seconds for 3 seconds. That's 30 ticks, alright? And an important note here is that doing all damage to enemies in the path means that if there is an enemy, behind an enemy, you're gonna hit them. It goes through walls, it goes through gods, it goes through minions. It'll get you. And that is 23 to 43 plus 15% of magical power. Alright? Good. I think that's the fastest I've ever done that. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and head into jungle practice. Like so. And yeah, we'll do this, our comprehensive guide for
active for duty. Anubis.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, but alright, so first thing I should mention in jungle practice is that Anubis has a very specific thing to... You know what? Actually, I meant to mention this a moment ago. So his passive, it stacks on a tick of his abilities. As you can see, every single one of his abilities, save Mummify, are a tick ability. So if you cast your 3 out in the open and then just walk away, your passive will stack and your healing will increase. So your 1, you kind of root yourself in place. You gotta be careful with that one. But you can use it to hit minions, lifesteal, and get back to full health almost instantly. Not almost instantly, but pretty much full health. And then Death Gaze as well. So here's something to note with Anubis. And this is the only reason why I'm doing this right away. Normally I would wait. Is that on him, you can basically start any game mode with these 2 items. Even if you're behind in Arena or Joust or Conquest, you can comfortably start on these items. Most of his builds will start with these items. I'm actually not going to be doing an attack speed meme build on Anubis because it's just not... Well, I might do it just to see it. I've never tried it, but I don't think it sounds like a good idea, so maybe we will try it here. And then in terms of relics, we're actually going to do this before I go over the abilities. With relics with Anubis, I definitely recommend Purification Beads, and then either Heavenly Wings, or the Blink Rune. It's also possible to do something else, like Shield of Thorns if you're doing a tankier build, because he can be built slightly tanky. I just prefer Blink because I'm awful. So now we'll be going over his abilities. So if you can watch right here. Sorrow, you have gained physical and magical protection and magical lifesteal. So while those stacks are active, I actually have more lifesteal and more protections. And then, okay, versus, I should have reduced the cooldowns, but I didn't really think about it much. So, yeah, that's still decent damage. He's not even built. So, for Mummify, you have a pretty decent sort of area of sort of like a range, I suppose. It's a little forgiving, is what I mean to say, on your accuracy, because if I hit him like anywhere, you can hit them on barely just the cusp of their outline, like this, and it'll still wrap up. So that said, you should still practice and you should still try your best to hit this ability right on target, but you don't necessarily have to hit this ability right on target like that. Alright, so let's see the penetration capability of his ultimate. Alright, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Odins lined up in a cute little line. I guess I should point out that it sucks that these guys don't actually take any damage. Let's see, it doesn't actually name a range on Death Gaze, so we'll just see if this will pretty much never happen, but if I get right up against him and he stands in place... I was hitting up to this one. So that's pretty cool. In terms of combos, simply put, you want to wrap them up, cast your 1, and then cover up with the cone. You'd want to get a little bit closer for the cone. The only problem with that is that it's best done in one-on-one fights. If you're in a team fight, it's easy for you to get isolated as your 1 roots you in your place, and then your 4 roots you in place. You're not immune to damage during Death Gaze. I do think you're CC immune. Let's see that again really quick because I forgot. Reset cooldown. There we go. If you glow gold, you're CC immune. Okay, yeah, he's CC immune. I just wanted to make sure. Alright, so first, very basic build with Anubis, and these builds aren't going to vary too much. They're just going to have some different roles they're looking into. As far as starter items go, I would say Attacker's Blessing or Mage's Blessing. Warrior's Blessing if you're doing a solo lane build with the tank, but it's honestly entirely up to you. Most people will probably just end up building mages if nothing else on him. So we want to do something like Spear of Deso or Spear of Magus. I'm going to go with Spear of Magus in this case. And then we also want Typhon's Fang, which should be in the Bancroft's branch. Then we're going to go for Gem of Isolation, which is going to be right here. Asclepius. And then we're going to go with, actually, you know what? I think I'll ram this out with Spear of Deso anyways, because more penetration is better. So we're going to actually go for, what does free fight mean? I've actually never been in this lane. Is it going to spawn gods? Oh, maybe this is for, like, fighting other players in the jungle practice? I don't know. I don't know how it works. But anyways, we are going to demonstrate. So, I've got all this penetration. Let's let him whack on us a little bit, because it's going to hurt. He's going to, wow, he's going to ult me. Okay. Yeah, that hurt. Look at that lifesteal. The amount of health that I regained was actually kind of stupid. Alright, let's see what Guan Yu wants to do to us. Come on, beat me up, Guan Yu. It's not enough, man. It's not enough. It's just not enough. Alright, so we're gonna go with a Thor. And we'll see if I can... Yeah, that was too easy. Alright, so as you can see, Anubis has a very dependable amount of damage and a very dependable amount of lifesteal. You can build him for more of whatever it is that you need. But enemies can't jump or do anything when they're wrapped up. As long as you can hit Mummify, you can kill enemies. If you hit Mummify and follow up that ult, the enemy is basically entirely screwed. So let's demonstrate the ultimate on the Fire Giant, just to show you a little bit more of what kind of damage he's capable of. We're going to let him use... There we go. Easily half of the Fire Giant's health was just disappeared by the ultimate. Anubis easily kills Fire Giant. Of course, at level 20 max items, almost anybody can easily kill Fire Giant, but I think you know what I mean. So we're going to go over the next build, because this one was very easy to go over. I mean, it's just, look, he does damage. So, I mean, you can always build him more lifesteal. You could, if you wanted to, you could just do this. No, you could even go in here and just do this. And then, boom, you have a good Anubis. Like, we're just gonna go fucking... Alright, watch. Yes, yes, I know. And then do the backflip. Do the backflip. Or the one. Come on, Neith, you're killing me here. Fine. And we still do plenty of damage to delete her. We killed her for 1,199 minus 244 from her protections on 4 ticks of Locust Swarm. We did 797 damage on 3 ticks of the Grasping Hands ability. That's... Let's try one more thing. We did 1,886 damage, which is her health, in 16 ticks of our ultimate, and our ultimate has 30 ticks. We didn't even get, or we just barely got halfway through all the ticks of our ultimate before she was dead. That's kind of insane. So that's just an example. Anubis is typically considered and usually comes out to be the highest damage mage in the entire game. It's just, that's the tendency for Anubis, is that he tends to have the highest damage output. So really quick, we're going to go over a more tanky build, which is one of my more favorite builds because it is extremely infuriating to deal with. And being infuriating is good, because as the enemy team gets tilted, they are more likely to lose. I think the actual quote is, the team that tilts first loses. So if you can tilt the enemy team, you win. So we're going to go do this against Amir, since he's got some pretty hard CC. We're going to see what he thinks about our tanky build. Hey dude, screw you. Why are there 2 of them? Doesn't matter, I can do this. That's right, Anubis can take 2 Emirs. I got frozen. Alright, well, I didn't mean to summon 2 Emirs, but I think the point was still made. Quite tanky. 2,475 damage. Not bad at all. We're going to go ahead and break off these items again. We're going to start with Shoes and Bancrofts. We're going to go for Spear of Magus, which is going to be right here. We're going to go for Warlock Staff, which I'm going to go right here for. We're going to go for Soul Gem to get that bonus damage and healing. And then Typhon's Fang, which is right here, actually. And pretty typical trend you can see with Anubis is his purchase of lifesteal items, these 3 right here. And that's simply because of his passive that increases his healing obtained from magical lifesteal. He's literally designed for lifesteal, so if you don't build him lifesteal, you're kind of, what's the right term? Neutering your capabilities. What is going on here? Huh. You see those shadows? That's weird. I must have broken something. And they're dead. What's also interesting is if you actually carefully watch his abilities, I'll do it again here and see if I can slow it down in the video, but you can actually see their health ticking. You can see the different ticks. You could probably even time it if you wanted to. The 2-second ticks for, let's see, the 0.5-second ticks on his Plague of Locusts. You can see the individual 0.5-second ticks on his Grasping Hands, and if you look close enough, you could see the 0.1 per second ticks on his. It's sort of continuous consecutive hits. It's not one burst like what's his name? Not Vauban. Vulcan, for example, would be an example of a 100% burst. Anubis is a tick god. So for, let's see, I mean, I haven't done a meme build. I should do a meme build in this video. Meme build. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the, let's do Rod of Asclepius, Doom Orb. We're gonna forego Bumba's Mask, but we're gonna go with, Shaman's Ring. Where are you, Shaman's Ring? Soul Reaver and Rod of Tahuti. Where are you, Rod of Tahuti? There we are. Alright, let's look at the meme build. Let's see how this does. Somewhat faster, Anubis. Somewhat. Not by much. Oh, we should actually stack up Doom Orb. So fully stacked meme build. Not the unstacked meme build. It's going to evolve our Shamans and it's going to give 5 stacks on Doom Orb. Let's see what happens. I don't even think I got Locust Swarm on there. Let's try that again, and then after that we'll demonstrate the ult again, and we're just gonna see this build in action. Oh my god, literally deleted. So we did 2,114 damage with Locust Swarm, and we did 2,058 damage with Grasping Hands on 6 ticks. 6 ticks for each. That was all 6 ticks for Plague of Locusts and 6 ticks on Grasping Hands. I think maybe just the slow is 0.5 for every 2 because it seems like we do more ticks per damage. Or more damage. More ticks, yeah. Ultimate. 2016. I would be willing to bet that if we just buy all of the highest magical power items, we can do fine. So let's go down here. We're gonna go with where is it? I guess we could just do Gem of ISO, and then Bancroft's instead of Rod, and then these might actually be the highest. I'm trying to think of any more, because in Smite you can't build more than one of the same item, which is just too bad, if you ask me. Just kidding. Oh, that would make the game impossible to play. Everybody would be overpowered. Yeah, I think those are all the highest magical power items. So throwing on Gem of Isolation to replace our movement speed boots. We're gonna see what happens here. Poor Neath. Deleted. Just deleted. And then one more for the road. I mean, I could actually probably line up. Can I get 2 Thors? Can I get 2? Maybe I have to do it like... There, that's how you get 2. That's weird. Okay, so... we're just gonna Oh, right. It's important to... Wow, okay. So she backflipped and stepped on the raw button and summoned a raw. So I was hopefully able to demonstrate that the ult penetrates. Let's do this real quick and get our health back. No chance. Just 2038, 1234. Stupid damage. Just stupid damage. Then you can do something like giving him damage camp. Which again, Anubis is easily able to jungle. You could just build him with, let's see, Teleria boots? Or are there something else on the mage side? I can't remember. Shoes of... Traveler's shoes, there you go, right there. Traveler's shoes gives you bonus movement speed after leaving the fountain, unless you enter combat, for 7 seconds every time you leave fountain. Pretty awesome. So... Oh, well, yeah. I guess we can try to demonstrate the wall penetration. I don't really know where I could do that at all, really. I guess I could maybe tempt you to go... Okay, or go over there. Like, go behind here, my dude. Over here. Okay, he's too jumpy. Let's get Thor over here and see if we can tempt him to come closer to the wall. Because I'm thinking maybe I could point it through this corner and hit him to show you the wall penetration. So come over here. Oh god, there's 2 of them. Yeah, well, at least through that you can see that I can penetrate the Thor. So let's have him... I'm going to reset the cooldowns, and we'll see if we can have him throw down his wall and hit him through his wall. I'm trying to do my best to demonstrate this without having to go into a game because it requires queuing up and all that, and that's why usually these guides don't have any actual gameplay. I think the Upwash guide had gameplay, but it was just a bots game, so I could demonstrate the combos. Put down your wall, man. Put down your wall. I did not mean to press E. Put down your wall. Please. Please. Please put down your wall. Alright, well you get it. The ultimate penetrates walls. Let's see if we can... No, you can't see it. Alright. There was one more build I wanted to play around with that I had mentioned earlier in the video as to not do this. But I suppose if you're so inclined, it actually seems to be doable. So we're going to go with Shoes of the Magi, and then Shaman's Ring, and then we're just going to buy all the rings. Actually, we could sell Demonic Grip and go for something like Polynomicon, so that you can still use the abilities. And you probably would want to get Poly like before Hastened Ring or after Hastened Ring. I don't know if you should do it last item. That's up to you. It's entirely preference. I believe the sooner you have that extra damage, the better. So we could wrap them, and that would proc our Polynomicon. As you can see, he doesn't really do a whole lot. This doesn't activate his passive, which is the main reason. The basic attacks not activating his passive is the main reason why I don't recommend doing attack speed on Anubis. So that's about it. Really quick, we'll actually stack the items to see if I can increase his damage a little bit more. After that, we're basically done. I've covered everything I wanted to cover, and I think this has been my fastest comprehensive guide yet. So, we're going to wrap him up to get the Polynomicon proc. I mean, like I said, it's not horrible, it's just, it doesn't make much sense. Again, because you're not getting the lifesteal that you would be. You're even better off, even with this build, just going like this. Now, obviously, not every enemy is going to stand in place and make it so easy for you to hit them and then get right up in their face and just follow up on your abilities. And in most situations, there's going to be a team that's going to help them out. But in the basic grand scheme of things, you want to hit them with your 3, your 1, and your 2. Your 2 first, and then your 3 or 1 in whatever order you see fit. But that's the main idea with Anubis, is you want to combo those abilities together and chain your abilities. The 2 with the 4, the 2 with the 3, and then the 1. The 3 to slow, so that you can get them with the 2 and hit them with the 1. I'll actually demonstrate that really quick. You can see this Odin get slowed. Like that. Whatever makes it work. You can use the 1 to clear minions. You can use the 3 to clear minions. You can use the 3 to poke. You can use the 1 to kill yourself. You can use the 4 to clear minion wave if you wanted to. I've seen games where Raw players and Anubis players will just ult the minion wave in Arena, or the big minion, the siege minion, so that they don't have to worry about it. So, you know, use it for whatever you want, man. But that's about it. That'll conclude this comprehensive guide.